Hi guys, today is August 6, 2020 and futures pointing to higher open and futures actually trimmed losses after a pretty good weekly jobless claims report that reported much stronger numbers than expected. Less people file for unemployment and jobless claims were 1.18 million versus 1.4 million expected. And also, on a separate note, lawmakers are still struggling to come up with a deal for a $1 trillion package that will help the American economy. So futures are still higher, and let's jump to SPY, S&P for ETF for S&P 500, and SPY is trading higher, actually lower pre-market, but it's been on a pretty much a rate to take this all-time high at $339, and it's trading right now at around $332. So it broke out of the resistance, and on top of I have this resistance and support lines, and I think SPY is going higher. Actually, I'm anticipating to take the 339 level pretty soon, in my opinion. Okay, so let's jump to corporate news, and before we do that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the like button, and check out the Patreon link in the description of the video if you want to see my trades and how I'm trading on pretty much everyday basis and my portfolio. Okay, so let's jump to Take-Two Interactive. They recently reported earnings and saw the sales and profit nearly double in its latest quarter. It's a video game operator, and its business gets a boost from people staying at home, and also raised its full year forecast. So pretty good numbers from Take-Two Interactive, and obviously that was pretty much expected, but they beat those expectations. So stock is trading a little bit high, in my opinion. It's sitting in an overbought territory. I would let it come down a little bit before I buy it to low 170s at least. Because right now it's pushing a little bit for me. Okay, so let's stay with the game makers. ATVI, Activision Blizzard also reported earnings recently, beat on top and bottom, raised full year forecast above analyst estimates, but the stock ran into the quarter hot. So that's why it, in my opinion, that's why it dropped yesterday, because the news about the earnings were pretty good. I mean, they heavily beat, they raised the full year forecast, and still the stock dropped. And I think it was a pretty good opportunity to buy the stock on this drop. And I think it's still going higher, ATVI. Okay, so let's stay with the gaming theme, and Zynga. Okay, Zynga reported yesterday after hours, and they reported EPS 2 cents below expectations, but revenue and bookings heavily beat actually. Also, they said they are buying 80% in Turkey-based gaming developer called Rollic, and the CEO said that the Rollic acquisition will offer 65 million new users. That's pretty good news. 65 million new users to sell your stuff to. This is significant news actually. So they also raised the full year forecast pretty significantly, and full year bookings. So the stock is going higher. It's actually a pretty good setup, in my opinion. See, the market has crossed here, and in my opinion, it may take its all-time high of it's not all-time high, but year high, 52-week high of 1055, probably today. Okay, so it's trading higher, and probably will go even higher than that. Okay, so let's jump to AMCX. AMC Networks, that's the company behind channels like AMC and Sundance. A reported profit of $2.39, well above $1.39 expected. Revenue also beat, and I don't know, it came up on the earnings, but also dropped yesterday. I think it's a pretty good company. It's a pretty good opportunity to buy this stock after they dropped yesterday. So AMCX is a buy, in my opinion. Okay, so CyberArk Software reported a beat of 15 cents. Revenue was also higher, and that's a pretty good software company. And It's in a good environment right now, and I think it's a pretty good buy in this area. Even 115 area, I think it's still a buy in here. Okay, so let's jump to Chegg. So Chegg is the maker of online learning platforms. Reported a profit of 5 cents above estimates, revenue above, raised its full year guidance, said it had more subs in second quarter than in all 2018. So really good numbers for Chegg. Stock symbol CHGG, and it's sitting in overbought territory, and I would let it drop a little bit to at least like $80 before I buy it. Okay, so Twitter. So Twitter and Facebook both removed President Trump's video that claimed that children are almost immune to COVID-19. I mean, I tell the truth, I don't like when social media platforms playing these political games, and I don't want them to be involved. But as a shareholder, it's actually pretty much free advertising. So for these, so I'm holding Twitter shares, and I think they're just pretty much. Every time they announce something, I mean, they basically free advertise themselves. So to me, the Twitter shares are going higher. I mean, it has a pretty good setup, and I would still hold shares actually. And Facebook, on a separate note, Facebook is a little bit too high for me, and it's a huge gap here that it has to fill, in my opinion. So I would wait for this shares to come down to like 240, closer to that, before I buy shares. CTL. Okay, CTL is the CenturyLink is the cable operator, and they're trading higher after the company reported better than expected earnings and sales, and that's a pretty good environment for CTL actually. And I would be interested to buy the stock, but closer to $10. In my opinion, it would be a good buy. Disney. So Disney reported actually very good earnings. I mean, not earnings, but very strong streaming services subscriber growth. Okay, so they reported close to 100 million subscribers, and earnings were actually flat or even down, but the subscriber growth for its streaming services were very hot. So shares actually jumped nearly 9% yesterday, and I don't know, I mean, it's trading a little bit too high for me, and I would like it to come down a little bit, at least to like under $120. In my opinion, that would be an interesting buy for Disney. Novavax. Okay, Novavax jumped more than 10% after the company released its new information about its vaccine candidate that showed good results, and JP Morgan upgraded the stock to outperform. I don't know, I mean, it's been overbought forever, this stock, and still going higher, so I don't know, I mean, it's too hot for me to get in, but if it dropped a little bit, and maybe it would be an interesting buy, but at these levels, it's pretty dangerous to me. Okay, Square. So Square reported, and they soared nearly 7% after their results, and they showed very strong growth in its consumer payments app Cash, and but the sitting again is very, I mean, nosebleed valuations, and very high in my opinion. And, I would like this shares to come down like in mid 130s before I consider it. I mean, it's pretty expensive in my opinion at this point. BYND. So Beyond Meat dropped 6% yesterday after the company said it spent more than expected, reported online earnings, but revenue beat. And actually, it would be an interesting buy for me on this drop for Beyond Meat. I actually think it's a very interesting long-term buy and hold stock. Okay, Nikola. Nikola reported a drop. Nikola dropped 10% yesterday after its first quarterly report, after it said it lost more than expected. I'm not very optimistic about Nikola. I mean, first of all, I don't know. The Trevor Milton came on and CNBC and was very loosey-goosey, saying how he was hammered and this and that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a very big fan of Nikola at this point, and I would let it go. I mean, I'm not gonna do anything with the stock at this point. Teladoc. Okay, so Teladoc and Livongo actually had some news. Both stocks dropped yesterday after they announced the plans to merge in a deal worth 18.5 billion. So I actually think it was not such a bad deal, and I don't know why the shares dropped so much for Teladoc, and I think it's a pretty good buy on this drop. And it's opening actually higher, but I would wait for the shares to drop after the open and maybe establish a new position. And Livongo, LVGO. And Livongo is also trading higher after yesterday's drop, and I actually think it's a pretty good buy if the shares come down to like close to $130. Okay, 130. BHC, Bush Health. So Bush Health is trading higher after they announced plans to spin off Bush and Lomb eye care unit into its separately trading public company. Okay, so Bush and Health, it's a former Valiant, and they had some problems before when it was Valiant, but then new management took over and new CEO, new board of directors, and everything else. So I think it's pretty good news for Bush Health, but I would let shares to come down to closer to $20 before I buy it. Okay, so KTB, Contour Brands. Contour Brands is a maker of Wrangler jeans, and they actually reported numbers, lost 22 cents versus 40 cents expected. Revenue came in above, said it was in good financial condition right now. And I actually shares are trading higher, and I actually think it's a pretty good buy for Contour Brands. Actually, they are trading in a pretty low range to me, and could be picked up here. Okay, and the last one I'll give you is ITSE. Okay, so ITSE reported EPS well above estimates, revenue beat, and saw 19 million new buyers. So really good numbers for ITSE, but it's sitting in an overbought territory, and it's kind of dangerous to me, like to buy stock when it's already trading at 180 at RSI 80 or above. So I would let it drop because it had a huge run before the quarter, and even though they beat and they showed good numbers, but the stock may drop because it just came in too hot into this number. So I would let it drop under like in maybe 120 handle, and then buy the stock, maybe establish a new position in the stock. Okay, that's it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the like button, and I'll see you Monday.